वेलकम बैक डियर बच्चों, एक बार फिर से आपका स्वागत है और दिस इज अवर सेकेंड सेशन ऑफ द चैप्टर सम बेसिक कंसेप्ट्स ऑफ केमिस्ट्री, राइट? I would suggest even if you are 11th standard students and find this thing very easy, it will be helpful for us to build a rapport among us and slowly you will be able to understand my style of teaching and able to connect with me. So in our last lecture we have seen what was science. It is human effort to systematize knowledge for understanding our nature, and chemistry deals with preparation of substances, studying nature of substances, their properties, structure and chemical reactions, right? Chemistry में हम ये पढ़ते हैं. And then we can also say chemistry deals with composition. हर एक चीज़ किससे बनी है? स्ट्रक्चर, प्रॉपर्टीज एंड इंटरैक्शन ऑफ मैटर, जो केमिकल इक्वेशन से हम दिखाते हैं, एंड इट इज़ ऑफ मच यूज टू ह्यूमन बींग्स इन डेली लाइफ. And this can be understood in terms of the basic building block of matter, and that is atoms and molecules, right? So knowledge of atoms and molecules is must for understanding of chemistry, and that is why chemistry is also called science of atoms and molecules, right? So let us start once again seeing how chemistry is useful. So this is very limited thing to say that where chemistry is useful. We can make entire video on usefulness, importance of chemistry, but we will not go into details of that thing. Principles of chemistry are applicable in diverse areas, भिन्न चीज़ यानी diverse areas such as weather patterns. Okay, this is the most important application nowadays. We see that weather pattern is totally disturbed due to global warming. जहाँ बारिश होती थी वहाँ बारिश नहीं हो रही है, जहाँ कम बारिश होती थी यहाँ बहुत बारिश हो रही है. And in recent news you have seen that some parts of the world the temperature has risen to around 60 degrees Celsius. That is too much, right? So chemistry is applicable in understanding our weather patterns, weather क्यों change हो रहा है. Functioning of brain में पूरा chemicals है, तो जैसे मूवी में हम देखते हैं केमिकल लोचा, तो अगर केमिकल लोचा हो जाए तो वो थिंकिंग को अफेक्ट करता है. तो ब्रेन के अंदर भी केमिकल रिएक्शंस हो रहे हैं. ऑपरेशन ऑफ कंप्यूटर में भी केमिस्ट्री है. प्रोडक्शन इन केमिकल इंडस्ट्रीज, मैन्युफैक्चरिंग फर्टिलाइजर्स यूजफुल फॉर प्रोडक्शन ऑफ क्रॉप्स, alkalis यानी बेस, एसिड, सॉल्ट्स, डाइज, पॉलीमर्स, ड्रग्स यानी दवाइयाँ, सोप, डिटर्जेंट, मेटल्स, अलॉयज यानी मेटल मिक्सचर. The gold that we wear, okay, in ornaments is not pure gold. Pure gold breaks easily, so it is mixed with some amount of copper. So that is an alloy. Alloy means mixture of metals, mixture of two or more metals is called an alloy. So these all terms may be new to you. So we are going to study in our subsequent videos, right? कि alkalis क्या है, acids क्या है, salts क्या है. अगर आपने नाम सुना हुआ है तो ये सब डील करते हैं केमिस्ट्री से, right? So this was importance of chemistry. Now, as we have already mentioned that chemistry is studying the composition of things around us. Let us study, before we go into what is matter, okay, before we start this property of matter, let us define what is matter. Anything that is mass and occupies space यानी volume is called matter. So book ले लो, chair ले लो, okay, ये pen ले लो, anything that we see around us is matter. Air is also matter. Okay, so anything, any substance that has mass and occupies space is defined as matter, right? So we'll classify matter later on. Let us see properties of matter. Okay, ये क्या लिखा हुआ है? If you are not able to see properly, we are going to convert this PPT into PDF and share it with you in the description. Okay, you can download and refer to it. So properties of matter. ये एल्गोरिदम टाइप है. Okay. So properties of matter. So let me ask you one question. Are these properties determined without changing identity of substance? Suppose boiling point एक property है. वेदर एनीथिंग इज इनफ्लेमेबल और नॉट, वेदर कोई चीज बर्न होती है या नहीं होती है, तो एक प्रॉपर्टी है. मेल्टिंग पॉइंट, बॉइलिंग पॉइंट, डेंसिटी, ये सब प्रॉपर्टीज है, राइट. कलर इज वन प्रॉपर्टी, फिजिकल प्रॉपर्टी. So properties are of two types, physical properties and chemical properties. So let me ask you one question, that are these properties determined without changing the identity of substance? अगर आंसर yes है तो आपको ये रीड करना है, अगर आंसर no है तो आपको ये रीड करना है. So if the answer is yes, yes का मतलब कि yes, these properties are determined without changing identity of the substance. So अगर आप कोई प्रॉपर्टी मैटर की मेजर करते हो और अगर उसकी आइडेंटिटी चेंज नहीं होती है सब्सटेंस की, तो उसको फिजिकल प्रॉपर्टीज बोलते हैं. फिजिकल प्रॉपर्टीज, right? Physical properties are properties that are determined without changing identity of any substance. You are not destroying nature of substance. Let me give one example. Color. Okay, color. Color यानी color के बाद आता है melting point, boiling point, etc. So if we boil water, we are not changing identity of water. वाटर है वो अल्कोहल में कन्वर्ट नहीं होता है, वाटर है वो एसिड में कन्वर्ट नहीं होता है जस्ट बाय सिंपली बॉइलिंग वाटर. सो बॉइलिंग पॉइंट, मेल्टिंग पॉइंट. इफ वी मेल्ट आइस, वी आर नॉट चेंजिंग केमिकल नेचर ऑफ आइस. सिमिलरली इफ वी ऑब्जर्व कलर ऑफ एनी सब्सटेंस, if we observe whether the substance is solid, liquid or gas, we are not changing its identity, nature. तो उसको physical properties बोलते हैं, right? So ये हो गया physical properties, definition of physical properties. And if by measuring a property we are destroying the identity, nature of any substance, it is called chemical property. जैसे अगर कोई liquid है, आपके पास कोई liquid है, वो acid है या नहीं है वो जानने के लिए, या तो आपके पास कोई मेटल है, वो मेटल एसिड के साथ रिएक्ट होता है नहीं होता है तो कितना फास्ट रिएक्ट करता है वो जानने के लिए वी विल ऐड दिस मेटल इनटू द एसिड. अब इन दोनों के बीच में एक केमिकल रिएक्शन होता है, एंड बाय डूइंग सो वी आर चेंजिंग आइडेंटिटी ऑफ मेटल और एसिड. न्यू सब्सटेंसेस आर फॉर्म्ड, तो उसको केमिकल रिएक्शन बोलते हैं, राइट? जैसे हो गया C+O2 gives CO2. Okay, we want to know whether carbon combines with air or oxygen or not. So we'll burn carbon in air. By doing so, we are changing nature of carbon. Carbon reacts with oxygen, carbon combines with oxygen and forms another compound, another substance, we call it carbon dioxide. Now this carbon dioxide has altogether different nature यानी property as compared to carbon and oxygen. Carbon तो solid था, लेकिन कार्बन डाइऑक्साइड गैस है, तो इसकी फिजिकल प्रॉपर्टी भी अलग है, इसका केमिकल नेचर भी अलग है, राइट? सो such properties are termed as chemical properties. पूरे केमिस्ट्री में we are going to learn about physical properties of substances as well as chemical nature, chemical properties of substances, right? Or a question, does the properties depend on amount of substance? कोई भी प्रॉपर्टी ले लो, कलर ले लो, तो कलर अमाउंट पे डिपेंड करता है. यानी अगर आपके पास कोल है, कोल तो ब्लैक कलर का है, तो आपने छोटा कोल ले लिया या बड़ा कोल ले लिया, आपने लेस क्वांटिटी ले ली या बड़ी क्वांटिटी ले ली, उससे कलर में कोई फर्क नहीं पड़ता है. सो दैट थिंग इज कॉल्ड इंटेंसिव फिजिकल प्रॉपर्टी. Intensive physical properties are properties that do not depend on the amount of that substance. आप ले लो boiling point. Boiling point of water is 100 degrees Celsius. Water boils at 100 degrees Celsius. Now whether you have 1 liter water with you or half liter water or 5 liter water, boiling point is same. Boiling point of water doesn't depend upon the amount of water present. So boiling point, melting point, color are intensive properties. They do not depend on the amount of substance. Whereas there are some properties that depend on the quantity of substance, amount of substance, उसको extensive physical properties बोलते हैं. जैसे हो गया mass. So if you have more quantity of water with you, then we call it has more mass. Okay, we call it mass, actually it is not mass. volume. If you have more water, then it has more volume. Okay, greater the quantity of water, amount of water, it has more volume. Okay, and then length हो गया, कोई भी चीज़ की length ले लो. Okay, अगर आपने ज़्यादा ले ली तो उसका length ज़्यादा होगा. तो these two terms are to be remembered. We have two types of properties. Later on ये बहुत डिटेल में आएगा एक चैप्टर में. एक है intensive properties जो quantity पे डिपेंड नहीं करता है, और एक है extensive properties जो quantity of substance पे डिपेंड करती है, right? And then we have this chemical properties. Chemical properties are properties which when measured will change the identity of that substance, will change the properties, nature of that substance. उसको chemical properties बोलते हैं. और उसमें क्या आता है? जैसे few examples. How does the substance react to presence of air, acid, base and water? You want to know whether carbon reacts with air or not. For that you will have to burn carbon in air. And you will find that yes, carbon reacts with air, carbon combines with oxygen. But in doing so, you have totally destroyed carbon. Carbon has chemically reacted with oxygen to form carbon dioxide, right? दूसरा एग्जाम्पल मेटल प्लस एसिड. आपको ये पता करना है कि मेटल, ये गिवन मेटल है वो एसिड से रिएक्ट करता है या नहीं करता है. नाउ इफ दिस मेटल रिएक्ट्स विद द एसिड, देयर इज अ केमिकल रिएक्शन, and in doing so you are destroying the nature of these substances. New substances are formed. There will be a chemical reaction, right? So let us classify matter after having learned intensive and extensive properties and physical properties of matter and chemical properties of matter. Let us classify matter. Matter can be classified based on physical properties or based on chemical nature, chemical behavior. Okay, so based on physical properties, matter can be classified into solid, liquid and gas. So matter exists in three forms. We call it solid, liquid and gas. You are very much familiar with these three terms. Okay, so I am not elaborating it. Then chemical nature, based on chemical nature or chemical properties, matter is either a pure substance, or matter is a mixture. Mixture यानी impure substance. Chemistry में impure substances are called mixtures. Pure substance are substances made up of single particles. Single यानी one kind of particles. If the given substance consists of same kind of particles, we call it pure. जैसे pure water ले लिया. Pure water consists of H2O, water molecules. Pure carbon dioxide contains only CO2. But if we dissolve this carbon dioxide in water, हमको मिलेगा soda water. तो soda water क्या हो गया? Mixture हो गया. Mixture of carbon dioxide gas dissolved in water, right? So impure substances are called mixtures. Mixtures are of two types: homogeneous and heterogeneous. Homogeneous and heterogeneous mixtures. होमो का मतलब है सेम. कभी भी ये वर्ड आए, होमो का मतलब है सेम. Homogeneous means having same properties throughout. We are going to define it in our later slides what are homogeneous and heterogeneous mixture, right? Now pure substances are substances made up of only one kind of particles. Pure substances can be further classified into elements and compounds. Pure substances are either elements or compounds. Compounds can also be further classified into organic compounds and inorganic compounds, that we will see later on. Elements are either metals. Elements या तो metals होते हैं, या तो non metals होते हैं, या तो उनके बीच वाले metalloid होते हैं. So we are going to define what are metals, what are non-metals, what are metalloids, what are elements, what are compounds, what are homogeneous mixtures, what are heterogeneous mixtures, etc., etc. Right? So this was classification of matter.